Hello each and everyone, the one who is watching my video. This is Ankita, your commerce educator, welcoming you to Global Online where we are taking classes for NET and SET exam preparation. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss 50 most important MCQ on accounting and auditing unit. Okay? ये लेक्चर देखने के बाद आपके जो सारे डाउट है अबाउट दिस यूनिट वो सारे के सारे क्लियर हो जाएंगे और आपको ये भी पता चल जाएगा कि एग्जाम में किस तरह के क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं। इस वीडियो को देखने के बाद आपके जो सारे कंसेप्ट है ये क्लियर हुए या नहीं ये देखने के लिए हम आपके लिए लेकर आए हैं फ्री इवैल्यूएशन टेस्ट। ये टेस्ट देने के लिए आपको हमारा जो ऐप है ग्लोबल ऑनलाइन वो आपको डाउनलोड करना है फ्रॉम योर प्ले स्टोर। डाउनलोड करने के बाद उसके अंदर जाना है और स्टोर में जाकर अपना जो कोर्स है वो सिलेक्ट करना है यूजीसी नेट कॉमर्स पेपर 2। उसके बाद उसके कंटेंट में जाना है जहाँ पर आपको टेस्ट दिख जाएगी, उस पर आपको सिलेक्ट करनी है। ये जो टेस्ट है वो सभी स्टूडेंट के लिए फ्री है। इस टेस्ट में आपको 5 डिफरेंट क्वेश्चन मिलेंगे। अगर मानो आपके 5 ही क्वेश्चन करेक्ट होते हैं तो आपका जो सारे कंसेप्ट है वो क्लियर हो चुके हैं। अगर मानो आपके 3 क्वेश्चन करेक्ट होते हैं या 4 क्वेश्चन करेक्ट होते हैं तो आपको और भी स्टडी करने की जरूरत है। One more important thing, Global Online is providing course for Commerce Paper 2 in which we are providing you complete video lectures. That is more than 100 video lecture we are providing you, complete notes on full syllabus, test series with the detailed explanation, previous year question paper test with the detailed explanation. If you are taking this course, then paper 1 we are providing you, that is free of cost, and the duration of this course is 1 year. We are providing this course for just rupees 5,000, but at present we are giving this course on 20% discount, that is we are providing this course just for rupees 4,000. To join this course, please contact on given number. Please don't wait for the last moment. Do join this course and start your preparation. Which of the following is the correct equation? मतलब कि निम्नलिखित में से कौन सा एक सही समीकरण है। दिए गए में से आपको ओपनिंग कैपिटल का कौन सा फॉर्मूला सही है ऐसा पूछा गया है। सो फर्स्ट जो ऑप्शन है वो है प्रारंभिक पूंजी इक्वल टू समापन पूंजी प्लस अतिरिक्त पूंजी माइनस आरेखण माइनस लाभ। सेकेंड जो ऑप्शन है वो है प्रारंभिक पूंजी इक्वल टू समापन पूंजी प्लस आहरण माइनस अतिरिक्त पूंजी माइनस हानियां। थर्ड जो ऑप्शन है वो है प्रारंभिक पूंजी इक्वल टू समापन पूंजी प्लस आहरण माइनस अतिरिक्त पूंजी माइनस लाभ। एंड लास्ट जो ऑप्शन है वो है प्रारंभिक पूंजी इक्वल टू समापन पूंजी माइनस आहरण माइनस अतिरिक्त पूंजी माइनस लाभ। इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर देने के लिए पहले आपको ओपनिंग कैपिटल का मतलब पता होना बहुत जरूरी है। ओके, सो opening capital is the additional balance presented towards the start of a bookkeeping period। मतलब कि शुरुआती पूंजी एक बहीखाता अवधि की शुरुआत की ओर प्रस्तुत समायोजित शेष राशि है। ओपनिंग बैलेंस एक संगठन के रिकॉर्ड में एक और दूसरे से संबंधित अवधि की शुरुआत की ओर संपत्ति का माप है। यह अभिलेखों में प्राथमिक खंड है या तो जब कोई संगठक पहली बार अपने रिकॉर्ड की शुरुआत कर रहा है या एक वर्ष के अंत में अनुसार कर रहा है। ओके, जो ओपनिंग कैपिटल का फॉर्मूला है वो है ओपनिंग कैपिटल इक्वल टू क्लोजिंग कैपिटल प्लस ड्रॉइंग माइनस एडिशनल कैपिटल माइनस प्रॉफिट प्लस लॉस। यहाँ पर जो क्वेश्चन है वो ओपनिंग कैपिटल पर बेस है। अगर मानो एग्जाम के दौरान आपको क्लोजिंग कैपिटल के बेस पर कोई क्वेश्चन आ गया तो क्लोजिंग कैपिटल का मतलब भी यहाँ पर आपको पता होना बहुत ही जरूरी होता है। ओके, सो क्लोजिंग कैपिटल इज पुट विथ द कैपिटल एंड आफ्टर दैट एडेड टुगेदर। बोथ significantly work, however international capital standard manage the way record are to be displayed। जो क्लोजिंग कैपिटल का जो फॉर्मूला है वो है क्लोजिंग कैपिटल इक्वल टू ओपनिंग कैपिटल प्लस प्रॉफिट माइनस लॉस प्लस एडिशनल कैपिटल इंट्रोड्यूस माइनस ड्रॉइंग्स। Just now I explained you about opening capital as well as about the closing capital. So as per the explanation, your answer must be option number 3. That is opening capital equal to closing capital plus drawing minus additional capital minus profit. Okay. Which of the following are related to the vouching of the sales? निम्नलिखित में से कौन बिक्री के वाउचिंग के संबंधित है? एंड ऑप्शंस गिवन आर माल का प्रेक्षण, बिक्री पुस्तक, डायरेक्ट नोट्स एंड लास्ट ऑप्शन है क्रेडिट नोट्स. ओके, नाउ हियर व्हाट इज वाउचिंग? वाउचिंग एक तकनीकी शब्द है जो एक लेखा परीक्षण द्वारा द्वितीय लेन देन का समर्थन और पुष्टि करने वालों दस्तावेजी साक्ष्य के निरीक्षण को संदर्भित करता है. जो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन है वो है माल का प्रेक्षण. माल प्रेक्षण उत्पाद और गोदाम के बीच अंतिम संपर्क का प्रतिनिधित्व करता है. इस प्रक्रिया के दौरान अंतिम दस्तावेज सत्यापन होता है. ओके, सेकेंड जो ऑप्शन है वो है सेल्स बुक, मतलब कि बिक्री पुस्तक. बिक्री पुस्तक मूल प्रविष्ट एक सहायक पुस्तक की एक पुस्तक है जिसका उपयोग माल की क्रेडिट बिक्री को रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए किया जाता है. थर्ड जो ऑप्शन है वो है डायरेक्ट नोट्स एंड लास्ट जो ऑप्शन है वो है क्रेडिट नोट्स. क्रेडिट नोट्स या क्रेडिट मेमो एक विक्रेता द्वारा खरीदार को जारी किया जाता है. ओके, क्रेडिट नोट बिक्री रिटर्न जनरल के लिए एक दस्तावेज के रूप में कार्य करता है. So for this question, the correct answer will be option number 3, B and A only. Dispatch of goods and sales book only. प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग निम्नलिखित में से किस फर्म के लिए उपयुक्त है? ओके, यहाँ पर आपको प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग के बारे में पूछा गया है. मतलब कि प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग के बारे में जो प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग का जो कंसेप्ट है वो आपके माइंड में क्लियर होना यहाँ पर बहुत जरूरी होगा. ओके, यहाँ पर जो ऑप्शन है उसमें फर्स्ट ऑप्शन है रसद और परिवहन फर्म. सेकेंड जो ऑप्शन है वो है फार्मास्यूटिकल और हेल्थ केयर फर्म. थर्ड जो ऑप्शन है वो है पर्यटन और आतिथ्य फर्म. एंड लास्ट ऑप्शन है तेल शोधन फर्म्स. ओके, और इस ऑप्शन में से आपको जो है वो करेक्ट आंसर यहाँ पर चूज करना है. और उससे पहले आपको प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग मतलब क्या वो पता होना चाहिए. प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग इज एन अकाउंटिंग मेथोडोलॉजी दैट ट्रेस एंड accumulate the direct cost and allocate indirect cost of manufacturing process. मतलब प्रक्रिया लागत एक लेखांकन पद्धति है जो प्रत्यक्ष लागत का पता लगाती है और जमा करती है और एक निर्णय प्रक्रिया की अप्रत्यक्ष लागत आवंटित करती है. ओके, The correct answer for this question is option number 4, that is D only. मतलब कि तेल शोधन फर्म जो है ये इसका करेक्ट आंसर है. लेखांकन के प्रक्रिया में निम्नलिखित गतिविधियों का अनुक्रमित करें. यहाँ पर आपको प्रोसेस ऑफ अकाउंटिंग का सीक्वेंस पूछा गया है. ओके, और यहाँ पर जो है 5 स्टेप दिए गए हैं जो आपको अरेंज करने हैं करेक्ट वे में. फर्स्ट जो है वो है खाता बही खातों में लेन देन का जनरलाइज करना. सेकेंड जो है वो है व्यापार लेन देन को प्रविष्ट की पुस्तकों में दर्ज करना. उसके बाद जो है वो है वार्षिक वित्तीय विवरण तैयार करना. उसके बाद है ट्रायल बैलेंस तैयार करना. और उसके बाद जो है वो है व्यावसायिक निर्णयों के लिए सार्थक निर्देश निकालना. ओके, और इसमें से आपको करेक्ट आंसर जो है वो बताना है. द 8 स्टेप ऑफ अकाउंटिंग साइकिल इंक्लूड, जो फर्स्ट स्टेप होती है अकाउंटिंग की वो होती है ट्रांजैक्शन को आइडेंटिफाई करना, मतलब कि लेन देन की पहचान करना. सेकेंड जो स्टेप होती है वो होती है रिकॉर्ड ट्रांजैक्शन इन अ जनरल, मतलब कि जो ट्रांजैक्शन होते हैं उनको रिकॉर्ड करना. उसके बाद होती है पोस्टिंग, उसके बाद होती है अनएडजस्टेड ट्रायल बैलेंस, उसके बाद होती है वर्कशीट, उसके बाद होती है एडजस्टिंग जनरल एंट्री, उसके बाद फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट और लास्ट जो होती है वो होती है क्लोजिंग द बुक्स। ओके, एक्चुअल में अकाउंटिंग में 8 स्टेप होते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पर आपको 5 ही स्टेप दिए हैं जो कि आपको अरेंज करने हैं। यहाँ पर जो आंसर होगा वो होगा ऑप्शन नंबर 4, जो बी है वो फर्स्ट आएगा, मतलब रिकॉर्डिंग द बिजनेस ट्रांजैक्शन इन द बुक्स ऑफ एंट्री, उसके बाद जनरलाइजिंग द ट्रांजैक्शन इन द लेजर अकाउंट, उसके बाद प्रिपरेशन ऑफ ट्रायल बैलेंस, उसके बाद प्रिपरेशन ऑफ एनुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, एंड लास्ट स्टेप विल बी ड्राइविंग मीनिंगफुल inference for a business decision. Okay. Objective of energy management and audit invariably include which of the following business enterprise, and the options given are minimizing cost of energy consumption. Second option here is minimizing the waste in energy consumption. Third option is scaling harmful impact of pollution on the health of the native. And the last option is minimizing the environmental degradation. Okay. So here you have to know about the objective of energy management and audit invariably. Okay. अगर आपको ऑब्जेक्टिव पता है तो ही आप इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे सकते हो। ऊर्जा प्रबंधन का मूल लक्ष्य वस्तुओं का उत्पादन करना है और कम से कम लागत और कम से कम पर्यावरणीय प्रभाव लागी सेवाएं प्रदान करना है। ऊर्जा प्रबंधन शब्द का अर्थ कई लोगों के लिए बहुत कुछ है। ऊर्जा प्रबंधन की एक परिभाषा है माना कि वो अधिकतम करने और प्रतिस्पर्धा स्थिति बढ़ाने के लिए ऊर्जा का विवेकपूर्ण और प्रभावी उपयोग। ऊर्जा प्रबंधन का उद्देश्य पूर्ण संगठन में इष्टतम ऊर्जा खरीद और उपयोग के प्राप्त करना और बनाए रखना। ओके। उत्पादन और गुणवत्ता को प्रभावित के लिए ऊर्जा लागत को कम करने के लिए, और जो लास्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो है पर्यावरणीय प्रभाव को कम करने के लिए। ओके। So for this question, the correct answer will be option number 3, that is A, B and D. Minimizing cost of energy consumption. Second is minimizing waste in energy consumption. And option number D, that is minimizing environmental degradation. Option number C will not included here. Okay. नेक्स्ट जो क्वेश्चन है, अगेन उसमें आपको सीक्वेंस पूछा गया है प्रोसेस ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग का। ओके। एंड उसमें फर्स्ट जो ऑप्शन है वो है मानक लागत स्थापित करना। सेकंड जो ऑप्शन है वो है वास्तविक लागत का मापन। थर्ड जो ऑप्शन है वो है भिन्नताओं और भिन्नता के कारणों की पहचान करना। एंड लास्ट जो ऑप्शन है वो है लागत और लाभ केंद्रों में भिन्नताओं का निपटान। और फिफ्थ जो स्टेप है वो है वास्तविक और मानक लागतों की तुलना। ओके। और ये जो पांचों जो स्टेप है वो आपको सही क्रमों में, मतलब सही सीक्वेंस में अरेंज करने हैं, और नीचे दिए गए में से आपको जो है वो करेक्ट आंसर बताना है। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, व्हाट इज स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग? मानक लागत एक उत्पादन प्रक्रिया के खर्च का अनुमान लगाने की एक प्रथा है। यह लागत लेखांकन की एक शाखा है जिसका उपयोग एक निर्माता द्वारा किया जाता है। ओके। मानक स्थापित करना ये जो है वो फर्स्ट स्टेप है। सबसे पहले और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण मानकों को प्रबंधन के अनुमान के आधार पर निर्धारित किया जाना है। वास्तविक लागत का निर्माण। मानक निर्धारित होने के बाद प्रत्येक तत्व के वास्तविक लागत अर्थात सामग्री, श्रम और उपविचार्य चालन, वेतन, खाता बही आदि से निर्धारित किया जाता है। उसके बाद है कारणों का निर्धारण और उसके बाद है प्रसारणों का निपटान। सो यहाँ पर जो करेक्ट सीक्वेंस है वो है A, B, E, C and D. मतलब कि establish standard cost, then will be measurement of actual cost, then will be comparison of actual and standard cost, then will be identify variance and cost of variance, and last step will be disposing the variance to the cost and profit center. इस क्वेश्चन में आपको कौन सा स्टेटमेंट सही है ऐसा पूछा गया है पार्टनरशिप में, और यहाँ पर जो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन है वो है इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ एनी प्रोविजन इन द पार्टनरशिप डीड ओनली अ वर्किंग पार्टनर इज एंटाइटल्ड टू रेम्यूनरेशन। सेकेंड जो ऑप्शन है वो है एनी फर्म विच अर्न नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट एज नो गुडविल। थर्ड जो ऑप्शन है वो है द बिजनेस ऑफ द फर्म मस्ट बी कैरिड आउट ऑन all by the partners, and last जो ऑप्शन है वो है interest on loan given by the partner to the firm shall be paid if there are profit। यहाँ पर जो पार्टनरशिप है उसका आपको मीनिंग पता होना बहुत जरूरी है, ओके, क्योंकि एग्जाम में कैसा भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है पार्टनरशिप के ऊपर। सो एक समझदारी दो या दो से अधिक पार्टियों द्वारा एक व्यवसाय के प्रबंधन और संचालन और उसके मुनाफे को साझा करने के लिए एक औपचारिक व्यवस्था है। समझदारी व्यवस्था 8 प्रकार की होता है। विशेष रूप से एक समझदारी व्यवसाय में सभी भागीदारी देनदारियों और लाभों को समान रूप से साझा करते हैं, जबकि अन्य में भागीदारियों की सीमित विधाएं हो सकती है। ओके, दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द पार्टनरशिप। For this question, the correct answer will be option number B. Any firm which earn normal profit as no goodwill. The going concern concept is the underlying basis for going चिंता अवधारणा के लिए अंतर्निहित आधार है। And options given are disclosing the market value of securities. Second option is consolidating the account of subsidiary company with those of parent company. Third option is depreciating fixed capital over their useful life. And last option is disclosing the sale or other operating information in the income statement. Now here, what is going concern concept? Okay, so going concern concept is an accounting term for the company that is financially stable enough to meet its obligation and continue its business for the foreseeable future. Okay, certain expenses and assets may be deferred in the financial report if a company is assumed to be a going concern. मतलब कि यदि किसी कंपनी को एक चालू संस्था माना जाता है तो कुछ खर्चों और संपत्तियों को वित्तीय रिपोर्ट में संगित किया जा सकता है। So for this question, the correct answer will be option number 3. Depreciating fixed asset over their useful life, मतलब कि अचल संपत्तियों को अनेक उपयोगी जीवन पर मूल्यह्रास करना। निम्नलिखित में से कौन प्रबंधन लेखा परीक्षा की प्रक्रिया का हिस्सा नहीं है? ओके, इन दिस क्वेश्चन दे आस्क यू विच वन इज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ प्रोसेस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट ऑडिट। ओके, एंड द ऑप्शंस गिवन आर जिम्मेदारी केंद्र की पहचान। सेकेंड ऑप्शन गिवन इज प्रत्येक जिम्मेदारी केंद्र की प्रदर्शन की समीक्षा। थर्ड ऑप्शन इज संगठनात्मक साँचे की समीक्षा। एंड लास्ट ऑप्शन इज कंपनी में अचल संपत्तियों का मूल्यह्रास विधि और उसके आवेदन की जांच। फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन द करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर 4, दैट इज investing the depreciation method and its application on fixed asset in the company is not part of process of management audit. Remaining other option is the part of management audit. As per the section 52 of a Company Act 2013, the balance in the security premium account cannot be utilized for, and the options given are payment of dividend, मतलब कि लाभांश का भुगतान। Second option is writing of discount on issue of share. Third option is issue of fully paid up bonus share. And last option is capital loss. Okay. If we see Section 52 of Company Act 2013, where a company issue a share at a premium, whether for the cash or otherwise the sum equal to the aggregate amount of the premium received on those shares shall be transferred to the securities premium. And provision of the Act relating to the reduction of the share capital of a company shall accept as a provided. The correct answer for this question will be option number 1, that is payment of dividend. As per the Section 52 of Company Act 2013, the balance in the security premium account cannot be utilized for payment of dividend. Cost audit for material covers, मतलब सामग्री कवर के लिए लागत रेखा परीक्षा, and the options given are good inverse procedure. Second option here is method for calculating standard cost variance. Then is classification of overhead. Then is accounting for a scrap, wastage, materials transfer, and accounting treatment of under or above observation. And from this, you have to select the correct one. Okay. So here, what is cost audit? The cost audit represent the verification of cost account and checking on the adherence to the cost auditing plan. मतलब एक लागत रेखा परीक्षा लागत खाते के सत्यापन और लागत लेखांकन योजना के पालन पर जांच या प्रतिनिधित्व करती है. Cost audit ascertain the accuracy of a cost accounting record to ensure that there is in the conformity with the cost accounting principle, plans, procedure and objectivity. Verification of a cost accounting record such as the accuracy of the cost account, cost report, cost statement, cost data and cost technique. Examination of this record to ensure that the adherence to the cost accounting principle, plans and a procedure objective. To report to the government an optimal utilization of the national resources. Okay. Here the correct answer for this question will be option number first, that is A and D. Good inward procedure and accounting for a scrap, wastage, material transfer. Okay. So option first will be the correct. Which of the following are the rights of statutory auditor? In this question, they ask you the rights of statutory auditor. To receive the remuneration, to attend the director meeting, board of director meeting, to attend the general meeting, to visit the branch office. And from this, you have to select the correct one. Now the statutory auditor has a right to access all the company's financial books, record and the information. Whatever he is required, जो भी उसे चाहिए होता है ऑडिट बनाने के लिए, वो इंफॉर्मेशन कंपनी को उसे अवेलेबल करनी होगी. ओके. उसके पास राइट होता है कि वो उस इंफॉर्मेशन को एक्सेस करे, जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन उसे ऑडिट बनाने के लिए चाहिए. ही हैज द ड्यूटी टू राइट अ ऑडिट रिपोर्ट. ओके. और जब भी वो ऑडिट बनाएगा, मतलब कि ऑडिटर जो रिपोर्ट बनाएगा, उसमें उसे जो कंपनी के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट है उसे करेक्ट रिप्रेजेंट करना होगा. ओके. थ्रू एंड फेयर रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन एंड द अफेयर्स. इफ ही इज राइटिंग द क्वालिफाइड रिपोर्ट, अगर मानो ऑडिटर जो है वो क्वालिफाइड रिपोर्ट बना रहा है, तो जो स्टेटमेंट होगी वो true and fair and must clearly state that the reason for the same. Okay. In case if the auditor is not covering the fraud, मतलब कि uncover कर रहा है fraud को during the audit, he must report it to the central government authorities. Here the correct answer for this question will be option number C. Okay. Option number 3, that is A, C and D. To receive the remuneration. Second point here, which is included under the right of a statutory auditor, is to attend the general meeting. and to visit the branch office. All these are the right of the statutory auditor. In this question, they given you two statements, statement 1 and statement 2. In statement 1, this is not standard method for environment accounting. Okay, मतलब कि जो first statement है वो कहता है कि this is not a standard method for the environment accounting, और जो second statement है वो है environmental accounting is applied to the textile industry. And from this, which one is the correct, they asked you. Okay, so the options given are statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false. Second option is statement 1 is false but statement 2 is true. Third option is both the statements are true, and last option is both statements are false. Now here the environmental accounting is the subset of accounting proper, its target being to be incorporated both economic and environmental information. It can be conducted at the corporate level or at the level of a national economy through the system of integrated environmental and economic accounting. So here this is the environmental accounting. Okay, please understand the concept. For this question, the correct answer is option number C, means both the statement given are true. Which method of HR accounting was developed by Lev and Schwartz? Okay, in this question they ask you given which HR accounting method is developed by Lev and Schwartz, and the options given are capitalization of historical cost model. Second option is opportunity cost model. Third option here is present value of future earning model, and the last option here is replacement cost model. Okay, so here HR accounting was developed by Lev and Schwartz in year 1971. Okay, and involved determining the value of HR as per the present value of estimated future earning discounted by the rate of return on the investment. Okay, so here there are two questions are there. Okay, not only one. If you listen carefully, just now I said that the present value of future earning model was given by Lev and Schwartz. Okay, so another question is when this method is developed. Okay, this question can be came, right? So they might ask you the year. So the answer will be 1971. Please remember this. The correct answer for this question is option number C. The method of HR accounting which was developed by Lev and Schwartz is present value of future earning model. Under CCA method, surplus or deficit due to change in the value of an asset and the adjustment in the profit and the loss statement should be adjusted to. CCA पद्धति के तहत संपत्ति के मूल्य में परिवर्तन के कारण अधिशेष या घाटी और लाभ और हानि विवरण में समायोजन को समायोजित किया जाना चाहिए. And the options given are general reserve account. Here the general reserve is the amount which is kept aside from the profit earned by the company. जो कंपनी होती है वो जो है वो कुछ अमाउंट सेपरेट रखती है, साइड में रखती है एज अ जनरल रिजर्व ड्यूरिंग इट्स अ नॉर्मल कोर्स ऑफ द ऑपरेशन टू मीट द फ्यूचर नीड. That is called a general reserve account. Second option here is profit and loss statement. And the income statement or a profit or loss statement account is one of the financial statement of the company that shows the company's revenue and the expenses during the particular period of a time. मतलब कि उस पर्टिकुलर पीरियड में कंपनी जो है वो लॉस में चल रही है या प्रॉफिट में चल रही है, ये हमें किससे पता चलता है? तो ये हमें प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस स्टेटमेंट से ही पता चलता है. थर्ड ऑप्शन इज रिवैल्यूएशन रिजर्व्स अकाउंट. Revaluation reserve is a non-cash reserve created to reflect the true value of the asset when the market value of a certain category of an asset is a more or a less than the value of a such a asset at which the recorded in the books of the account. And the last option is none of the above. The correct answer for this question will be option number C. Under CCA method, surplus or deficit due to change in value of an asset and adjustment in a profit and a loss statement should be adjusted to revaluation reserve account. Current cost accounting method attempt to match the current income against which cost. In given question they ask you चालू लागत रेखा पद्धति के चालू आय को किस लागत से मिलाने का प्रयास किया, and the options given are past cost, second option is current cost, third option is general cost, and the last option is individual cost. To answer this question you must know about the current cost accounting. So here the current cost accounting is the valuation method whereby assets and the goods used in the production are valued at their actual or a estimated current market price at the time of the production take place. The correct answer for this question will be option number B, that is current cost. A use to reflect a change in the purchasing power of a money or a whole. ए का उपयोग धन या संपूर्ण की कार्य शक्ति में परिवर्तन को दर्शाने के लिए किया जाता है. And the options given are general price index, second option is special price index, third option is monetary value index, and the last option is discount factor index. Okay, so here all the options are the important, so you should know about each option. मतलब कि हर एक जो ऑप्शन है वो आपके माइंड में क्लियर होना बहुत जरूरी है. फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज जनरल प्राइस इंडेक्स, जनरल प्राइस लेवल and the index that measure the changes in the price of a good in an economy over a time and hence the purchasing power of a currency of the country. Second option is special price index. A special price can be offered for the designated period of the time. Third option is monetary value index. In a microeconomy, a monetary condition index MCI is an index number calculated for a linear combination of a small number of the economy while a financial variable deemed relevant for a monetary policy. And the last option is discount factor index. Discount factor is a weighting factor that is the most commonly used to find out the present value of a future cash flow and is calculated by adding the discount rate to 1 which is then raised to the negative power of a number of a period. Okay. The correct answer for this question will be option number A, general price index. The value of a HR is the function of a aggregate salary of the employee and their aggregate employment tenure in the organization. This is the essence of HR का मूल्य कर्मचारियों के औसत वेतन और संगठन में उनके औसत रोजगार कार्यकाल का कार्य है. यह का सार है. And the options given are 5-dimensional model. Dimensional modeling, that is DM, is a part of the business dimensional life cycle methodology which is developed by the Ralph Kimball, which involve a set of a method, technique and the concept for a use in a data warehouse design. Second option is unpurchased goodwill model. According to the unpurchased goodwill model, the value of a HR of an organization may be calculated by capitalizing earning in the excess of a normal earning for the industry. Third option is aggregate payment model. Aggregation in the payment facilitator that differ from the traditional model. And the last option is casual intervening and the end result model. Interaction between the casual and the intervening variables affect the end result variable through the job satisfaction, cost, productivity and the earning. So here the correct answer is option number C, that is aggregate payment model. When the sale is accepted to occur beyond 1 year, the entity shall measure the cost of sale at their present value. Any increase in the present value of the cost to the sale that arises from the passage of a time shall be presented in. And the options given are capital reserve account. Second option is profit or loss as a financing cost. Third option is general reserve account, and the last option is none of the above. Capital reserve account, a capital redemption reserve fund, is a transfer from the undistributed profit, that is general reserve or a profit and loss account. The amount of a capital reserve cannot be used for the redemption of a preference shares. Second option is profit or loss as a financing statement. And an income statement or a profit or loss account is the one of the financial statement of the company. Third option is general reserve account, and last option is none of the above. The correct answer here is option number B, that is profit or loss as a financing cost. After recognition, an entity applies मान्यता के बाद एक इकाई लागू होती है, and the options given are revaluation model to the exposure and the evaluation asset. Second option here is cost model to the exposure and evaluation asset. Third option is either A or a B, and the last option is both A and B. The correct answer here is option number C, that is either A or a B. Revaluation model to the exposure and the evaluation asset, or cost model to the exposure and the evaluation asset. The term financial asset include all of the following except, मतलब कि वित्तीय संपत्ति शब्द में निम्नलिखित को छोड़कर सभी शामिल है, and the options given are technical knowledge, second one is bank loan, third one is lease obligation, and the last one is shares, bonds and debenture. To answer this question, you should know about financial asset. Okay, so here the financial asset is a non-physical asset whose value is derived from the contractual claim, such as a bank deposit, bonds, and a participation in the company's share capital. Financial assets are usually more liquid than other tangible assets, such as a commodity or a real estate. Okay, so this is the meaning of the financial asset. So for this question, the correct answer will be option number A. The term financial asset include all of the following except technical knowledge. The basic concept account is or a RR. मतलब कि मूल अवधारणा खाता है, and the options given are realization concept, matching concept, cost concept and all of the above. So again under this unit, this subtopic is the important because on the concept of the account there might be question came. Okay, so to answer this question you have to know about which are the different concepts are there under this. So there is business entity concept, money measurement concept, cost concept, economic entity concept, materiality concept. Here they are given you realization concept. The term realization concept state that revenue earned from any business transaction should be included in the accounting record only when it realized. The term realization implies that creation of the legal right to receive the money. Second option is matching concept. The expenses related to the revenue should be recognized in the same period in which the revenue was recognized. By doing this, there is no deferral of expenses recognition into a later reporting period, so that someone viewing a company's financial statement can be assured that all the aspects of a transaction have been recorded at the same time. And third one is cost concept. The accounting cost concept states that all the business assets should be written down in the books of the account at the price asset of the purchase, including the cost of acquisition and the installment. And the last option is all of the above. Here the correct answer for this question will be option number D, all of the above. As per the revenue recognition concept, revenue is a deemed to realize. मतलब कि रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्नाइजेशन कंसेप्ट के अनुसार रेवेन्यू को वसूल माना जाता है, एंड द ऑप्शंस गिवन आर व्हेन परचेज ऑर्डर इज रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम द परचेजर, सेकंड ऑप्शन इज व्हेन गुड्स आर डिलीवर्ड टू द परचेजर, थर्ड ऑप्शन इज when the title of a good has been transferred to the purchaser, and the last option is when the cash is received from the purchaser. It states that revenue is considered to be realized when the transaction has been entered into the obligation to receive the amount has been established. Revenue is the gross inflow of the cash received from the sales of goods or services rendered by the enterprise. Revenue is realized when the legal right is received arises, that is, realized on the particular date when the goods are sold or received are rendered. It does not relate with the receipt of the cash. Please understand this because there is a chances that question will come on the concept. The answer here will be option number C. As per the revenue recognition concept, revenue is deemed to be realized when the title of a good has been transferred to the purchaser. Window dressing is prohibited due to, and the options given are conservative convention, second option is convention of disclosure, third option is convention of materiality, and the last option is arrival of books of account. Window dressing is considered to be an unethical practice because it involves deception and advancement of the management interests instead of the interest of the information user, that is, owner, investor, or the government. From the legal point of view, the window dressing isn't illegal, but in some cases, it can be so. So the answer here is option number B. Window dressing is prohibited due to convention of disclosure. Income and expenditure account of a non-pro organization is, and the options given are real account, nominal account, personal account, and representative personal account. Okay, so here the real account is an account that retains and rolls forward its ending balance at the end of the year. मतलब कि एक वास्तविक खाता एक ऐसा खाता है जो वर्ष के अंत में अपने अंतिम शेष को बनाए रखता है और आगे बढ़ाता है. This amount then become the beginning balance in the next period. The area in the balance sheet in which real accounts are found are assets, liability, and equity. Then if we talk about the nominal account, then nominal account is an account recording the financial transaction of a business in the particular category rather than with the person or other organization. Third option is personal account and the last option is representative personal account. Income and expenditure account is a summary of the income and expenditure of a not-for-profit organization prepared at the end of accounting period. It is prepared to find out the surplus or the deficit pertaining to a particular year. So this is why the income and expenditure accounts are made, to know about the surplus and the deficit what is company facing for that particular year. So the answer here will be option number B. Income and expenditure account of a non-pro organization is a nominal account. Main objective of a accounting standard is. In this question they ask you about the accounting standard objective and the options given are to prepare the accounting report which is easily understood by a common man. Second option is to comply with the legal formality. Third option is to harmonize the diversified accounting practice, and the last option is to comply with the requirement of the International Accounting Standard. Accounting is also known as accountancy, is a measurement, processing and the communication of financial and non-financial information about the economic entity such as the business and the corporation. Accounting, which has called the language of a business, measures the result of the organization, economic activity and convey this information to a variety of stakeholders including investor, creditor, management and a regulator. Here the answer for this question is option number C. The main objective of an accounting standard is to harmonize the diversified accounting practices. The fund available with the company after paying all the claim including tax and the dividend is called कर और लाभांश सहित सभी दावों का भुगतान करने के बाद कंपनी के पास उपलब्ध धनराशि को कहा जाता है एंड द ऑप्शंस गिवन आर फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज नेट प्रॉफिट. If we look at a net profit is also referred to as a bottom line. Net income or a net earning is a measure of the profitability of the venture after accounting for all the cost. Then is net operating profit. Net operating profit means for any period, for any guaranteed, and it's a consolidated subsidiaries net sale minus the total cost and expenses, in which cases determined in the accordance with the GAAP for such a period. Then is capital profit. Capital profit are the profit for the sale of a fixed asset or the issuance of the shares and a debenture to raise the fund. And the last option is retained earning. Retained earning is the amount of a net income left over for the business after it has paid all the dividend to the shareholder. The decision to be retain the earning or distribute them among the shareholder is usually left with the company's management. The company generally does not distribute all its earning among the shareholder as a dividend. A portion of the net earning may be retained in the business for the use in the future. This is known as retained earning. It is a source of internal financing or a self-financing. And for this question, the correct answer will be option number D, that is retained earning. The next question here is owner's equity stand for, and the options given are fixed asset minus flood liability. Second option is fixed asset minus current liability. Third option is current asset minus fixed liability, and the last option is total asset minus total outside liability. So here owner's equity can be calculated by summing all the business assets like a property, plant and the equipment, inventories, retained earning and capital good, and deducting all the liability, that is debt, wages and the salary, loan, creditors. The owner's equity stands for total asset minus total liability. So the answer here will be option number D. Owner's equity stands for total asset minus total outside liability. The next question is receipt and a payment account is prepared by. प्राप्ति एवं भुगतान खाता किसके द्वारा तैयार किया जाता है? And the options given are manufacturing concern. In manufacturing concern, the cost of the product has to be calculated by taking into the consideration the expenditure that occur every stage of the production process. For instance, the cost occurring at a time when the raw material was purchased or moved from the storage to the production facilities. Second option is non-trading concern. Now here the non-trading concern is also known as non-profit making entity that receive the donation and grants for the public and the government and uses them to serve the community. Then is trading concern. Trading concern, the net income or the profit earned during the trading period to distribute among the partners or the shareholder. And the last option is companies registered under the Company Act 1956. The Company Act 1956 is applicable to the statutory company such as the Reserve Bank of India. Registered company are those companies which are registered or incorporated with the registrar of a company as per the provision of Companies Act. So these are the different options which I have explained you. Now there might be a question why I am explaining the option, because most of the time in exam you will receive the question on this option only. So because of that you have to understand each option carefully, then only you can answer this question. Okay. So for this question the correct answer is option number B, non-trading concern. In accounting, profit prior to the incorporation is treated as. लेखांकन में निगमन से पूर्व के लाभ को माना जाता है and the options given are revenue, reserves. In accounting, revenue is a total amount of the income generated by the sales of a good and services related to the primary operation of the business. Then is secret reserve. Secret reserve, as per the name suggests, it is a kind of the reserve whose existence is not disclosed in the balance sheet of the organization. Then is capital reserve. The fund or the account set aside for a major long-term investment project or the other anticipated expenses. And the last option is general reserve. General reserve is referred to as a reserve fund that is created by keeping aside a part of the profit earned by the business during the course of an accounting period for the fulfillment of the various business needs. So here the correct answer for this question is option number C, that is capital reserve. Profit and loss made before the incorporation is known as a profit prior to the incorporation, which is treated as the capital reserve or a capital profit, and the same cannot be distributed as the business profit, hence it cannot be distributed by the way of the dividend. Dual aspect concept result in which of the following accounting equation? मतलब कि दोहरे पहलू में अवधारणा का परिणाम निम्नलिखित में से किस लेखांकन समीकरण में होता है? And the options given are revenue equal to expenses. Second option is capital plus profit equal to asset plus expenses. Third option given is capital plus liability equal to asset. And last option given is capital plus drawing equal to owner's equity. So now here the first thing that you have to know is about the dual entry accounting. So as per the dual entry accounting, it is known that any transaction of a business is recorded in two separate accounts. Okay. The first and the most important thing that you have to remember is every transaction have a two separate account in the accounting process. The dual aspect concept indicate that each transaction made by the business impact the business in a two different aspects which are equal and opposite in their nature. This concept from the basic of a double entry accounting and is used by an accounting framework for gathering the accurate and a reliable financial statement. The accounting equation is registered in the balance sheet where the amount of the total asset should be equal to the liability and the equity of the firm. Dual aspect concept is also described as a duality principle. This concept explains that if something is given, someone will receive it. It can be explained as whether a transaction occurs, there is a two-side effect. One is a credit and other side will be a debit for the similar amount. Okay. So the answer here will be option number C, that is capital plus liability equal to asset. The next question here is interest on loan taken for the purchase of fixed asset is, and the options given are revenue expenditure, second option given is capital expenditure, third option is deferred revenue expenditure, and last option is capital loss. Now the expenditure can be classified as a revenue expenditure and a capital expenditure. Okay, जो expenditure होता है वो classify होता है, divide होता है two things में, that is revenue expenditure and a capital expenditure. Now the revenue expenditure are those expenses which are incurred for the day-to-day smooth business operation, and the capital expenditure are those which are incurred to get the benefit in the coming future, like buying of asset or heavy expenditure on overhaul of the asset to improve the organizational activities. Hence the interest on the loan taken for the purchase of the fixed asset is a capital expenditure. That means the answer for this question will be option number B, that is capital expenditure. The amount of depreciation charged to profit and loss account varies every year under, मतलब कि लाभ और हानि खाते के लिए प्रारंभिक मूल्यांकन की राशि प्रत्येक वर्ष के अंतर्गत भिन्न होती है. and the options given are fixed installment method. Now the fixed installment method is also known as straight line method or original cost method. And under this method, the accepted life of the asset or the period during which the particular asset will render the services is the calculated. Second option given is annuity method or a Varshiki Vidhi. Now the annuity method of depreciation is the process which used to calculate the depreciation on the asset by calculating its rate of return. Third option is diminishing balance method. A diminishing method means declining or reducing method. And the last option given is insurance policy method. Insurance policy method of depreciation is somewhat like a depreciation or a sinking fund method. The only difference is that the annual depreciation, instead of investing in government papers or a gift aid security, is paid up as a premium to the insurance company who issue the insurance policy equivalent to the cost of asset. So the answer here for this question will be option number C. The amount of depreciation charged to profit and loss account varies every year under diminishing balance method. The next question here is which of the following activity should be shown separately in cash flow statement prepared as per the accounting standard 3. So here are the 5 different points are given. The first point is cash flow from borrowing activity. Second point is cash flow from operating activity. Third point is cash flow from financing activity. Fourth one is cash flow from investing activity, and last point is cash flow from the miscellaneous activity. And below the code is given, and from this code you have to select the correct one. Financial statements are defined in the Companies Act 2013 as per the section 2 clause 40, and it includes the cash flow statement prepared in accordance with the accounting standard 3, or we say AS3, that means the accounting standard. The cash flow statement. A cash flow statement provides information about the historical changes in the cash. So for this question, the answer is option number C, that is 2, 3 and 4. Cash flow from operating activity, cash flow from financing activity and cash flow from investing activity. Which of the following method of inflation accounting has been proposed by Sunderland Committee of UK? And the options given are general price level method. Second option is specific price level method. Third option is current cost accounting method, and last option is generally accepted accounting principle, that is GAAP. In 1975, the government appointed a committee on the inflation accounting headed by FEP Sunderland proposed a current cost accounting system having no provision for the impact of general inflation on the monetary item. So the correct answer here is option number C, current cost accounting method. The next question here is Schedule 3 Part 2 of a Companies Act 2013 deal with which of the following, and the options given are format of balance sheet, then is format of profit and loss account, then is format of trading account, and last is format of cash flow. The correct answer for this question is option number B. Schedule 3 Part 2 of Companies Act 2013 deal with format of profit and loss account. The next question here is which of the following receipt is of revenue nature, and the options given are amount realized for the sale of investment. Second option is dividend received on investment. Third option is amount borrowed from a bank, and last option is compensation received for municipal corporation for the acquisition of land for the construction road. Receipts are the earning of the company and through it the revenue is generated. Okay, so this is a simple point. Not all the receipts contribute towards the profit or the loss of the business. Receipt can be categorized as a capital receipt. To some extent, it can say that the revenue received affect the profit and loss of the business, but not every time. Okay. So the answer here for this question will be option number B. Dividend received on investment. नेक्स्ट जो क्वेश्चन है अगेन उसमें आपको सीक्वेंस पूछा गया है प्रोसेस ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग का. ओके एंड उसमें फर्स्ट जो ऑप्शन है वो है मानक लागत स्थापित करना. सेकंड जो ऑप्शन है वो है वास्तविक लागत का मापन. थर्ड जो ऑप्शन है वो है भिन्नताओं और भिन्नता के कारणों की पहचान करना. एंड लास्ट जो ऑप्शन है वो है लागत और लाभ केंद्रों में भिन्नताओं का निपटान. और फिफ्थ जो स्टेप है वो है वास्तविक और मानक लागतों की तुलना. ओके और ये जो पांचों जो स्टेप है वो आपको सही क्रमों में मतलब सही सीक्वेंस में अरेंज करने हैं और नीचे दिए गए में से आपको जो है वो करेक्ट आंसर बताना है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाट इज स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग. मानक लागत एक उत्पादन प्रक्रिया के खर्च का अनुमान लगाने की एक प्रथा है. यह लागत लेखांकन की एक शाखा है जिसका उपयोग एक निर्माता द्वारा किया जाता है. ओके मानक स्थापित करना ये जो है वो फर्स्ट स्टेप है. सबसे पहले और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण मानकों को प्रबंधन के अनुमान के आधार पर निर्धारित किया जाना है. वास्तविक लागत का निर्माण. मानक निर्धारित होने के बाद प्रत्येक तत्व के वास्तविक लागत अर्थात सामग्री, श्रम और उपविचार्य चालन, वेतन, खाता बही आदि से निर्धारित किया जाता है. उसके बाद है कारणों का निर्धारण और उसके बाद है प्रसरणों का निपटान. सो यहाँ पर जो करेक्ट सीक्वेंस है वो है A, B, E, C एंड D. मतलब कि एस्टेब्लिश स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्ट, देन विल बी measurement of actual cost, then will be comparison of actual and standard cost, then will be identify variance and cost of variance, and last step will be disposing the variance to the cost and profit center. The next question here is outgoing partner is compensated for partnering with the firm future profit in favor of remaining partners. In what ratio do the remaining partner contribute to such a compensation amount? And the options given are gaining ratio, second one is capital ratio, third one is sacrificing ratio, and the last one is profit sharing ratio. The partner has a right to retire from the firm after giving a due notice in advance. A new partnership came into the existence between the remaining partner, whoever will be there. A retired partner is entitled to get the following things. The first one for which the retiring partner has a right is shares in goodwill. Goodwill of the firm is a value and retiring partner shares of the goodwill is credited to his capital account. Second thing is shares in reserves. Reserves are the undistributed profit and it is also credited to the capital account of the retiring partner. And the third is shares in revaluation of assets and a liability. The assets and a liability are revalued on the date of retirement and retiring partner's shares of the profit is credited or the loss is debited to his capital account. The answer for this question will be option number A, that is gaining ratio. Which of the following are related to the vouching of the sales? निम्नलिखित में से कौन बिक्री के वाउचिंग के संबंधित है? एंड ऑप्शंस गिवन आर माल का प्रेक्षण, बिक्री पुस्तक, डायरेक्ट नोट्स एंड लास्ट ऑप्शन है क्रेडिट नोट्स. ओके नाउ हियर व्हाट इज वाउचिंग? वाउचिंग एक तकनीकी शब्द है जो एक लेखा परीक्षण द्वारा तृतीय लेन देन का समर्थन और पुष्टि करने वालों दस्तावेजी साक्ष्य के निरीक्षण को संदर्भित करता है। जो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन है वो है माल का प्रेषण। माल प्रेषण उत्पाद और गोदाम के बीच अंतिम संपर्क का प्रतिनिधित्व करता है। इस प्रक्रिया के दौरान अंतिम दस्तावेज सत्यापन होता है। ओके, सेकंड जो ऑप्शन है वो है सेल्स बुक, मतलब कि बिक्री पुस्तक। बिक्री पुस्तक मूल प्रविष्ट एक सहायक पुस्तक की एक पुस्तक है जिसका उपयोग माल की क्रेडिट बिक्री को रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए किया जाता है। थर्ड जो ऑप्शन है वो है डायरेक्ट नोट्स एंड लास्ट जो ऑप्शन है वो है क्रेडिट नोट्स। क्रेडिट नोट्स या क्रेडिट मेमो एक विक्रेता द्वारा खरीदार को जारी किया जाता है। ओके, क्रेडिट नोट बिक्री रिटर्न जनरल के लिए एक दस्तावेज के रूप में कार्य करता है। So for this question, the correct answer will be option number 3, B and A only. Dispatch of goods and sales book only. Errors are which type of mistake? In this question, they ask you about the error, and the options given are intentional, second option is undirected, third option is unintentional, and the last option is none of the above. Here, first of all, you have to know about the errors. So the errors are unintentional mistake, some unintentional act, omission, or an error arising from the ignorance, surprise, imposition, or a implaced confidence, a state of a mind not in accord with the reality. As per the explanation, the answer for this question will be option number C. That is, errors are unintentional mistake. The next question here is, profit and loss account is prepared for the period of 1 year by following. And the options given are periodicity concept. Now, what is periodicity concept? The periodicity concept can also be called as a time interval concept. Okay? It is a period during which the business enterprise are required to prepare the financial statement at the specific interval. For example, period of 1 year. For that particular year, the business which is running will make a financial statement for that particular year. Second option here is business entity concept. Under business entity concept, a business holds separate entity and distinct from its owner. यहाँ पर ऐसा माना जाता है कि बिजनेस और जो पर्सनल थिंग्स है वो सेपरेट होती है। बिजनेस एक सेपरेट कंसेप्ट है। ओके, द एंटिटी वी होल्ड अ बिजनेस एंटरप्राइज टू बी एन इंस्टीट्यूट इन इट्स ओन राइट सेपरेट एंड डिस्टिंक्ट फ्रॉम द पार्टी हु फिनिश द फंड. And the third option is accrual concept. Accrual of a something is in a finance the adding together of an interest or a different investment over a period of a time. It holds a specific meaning in the accounting where can refer to the account on the balance sheet that represent the liability on and non-cash based asset used in the accrual based accounting. And the last option here is none of the above. Profit and loss account is prepared for the period of 1 year by the following periodicity concept. It is a concept that each accounting period has an economic activity associated with it and that the activity can be measured, accounted for and reported upon. So the answer for this question will be option number A, that is periodicity concept. Next question here is gross profit is equal to. So in this question they ask you about the gross profit, and to answer this question you should know about the gross profit or what is gross profit. And for this question they given the option. First option is opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Second option is net profit minus expenses. Third option is sales minus closing stock plus purchases, and the last option is sales minus cost of goods sold. So what is gross profit? Gross profit is the profit a business makes after subtracting all the costs that are related to the manufacturing and selling its product or the services. Okay. So, it can be calculated by deducting the cost of a good sold, that is COGC, from the total sales. So here the answer for this question will be option number D, that is sales minus cost of goods sold. That time we will get the gross profit. The next question here is petty cash is a use for payment of. In this question they ask you about a petty cash. Why we are using the petty cash? And the options given are salaries and the wages of the staff. Second option is for the purchases of the asset. Third option is small expenses relating to the postage and the convenience, etc. And last option is all of the above. So the petty cash fund is a small amount of a company cash often kept on the hand. For example, locker, drawer or a box to pay for a minor or a incidental expenses such as an office supply or a employees. A petty cash fund will undergo a periodic conciliation with the transaction also recorded on the financial statement. Petty cash is a use for the payment of a small expenses relating to the postage and conveyance, etc. The petty cash is the current asset account and it is a part of a company cash. So the answer here is option number C. Which reserve is not shown in the balance sheet? Okay, and the options given are secret reserve. Second option is general reserve. General reserve is referred to as the reserve fund that is created by keeping aside a part of the profit earned by the business during the course of an accounting period for the fulfilling the various business needs like offsetting the future losses, enhancing the working capital. Okay, that is called a general reserve. Capital reserve, a fund or a account set aside for a major long-term investment project or other anticipated expenses is called a capital reserve. And if we talk about a secret reserve are not shown in the balance sheet. The term secret referred to as a reserves that existence of which is not disclosed in the balance sheet. It can be said that there is a surplus of the asset over a liability and that surplus is not disclosed or shown by the balance sheet. And the last option is all of the above. As per the explanation, the answer for this question will be option number A, that is secret reserves are not shown in the balance sheet. The next question here is under diminishing balance method depreciation, and the options given are is constant every year. Second option is increasing every year. Third option is decreases every year, and the last option is none of the above. So the diminishing balance method is also known as reducing balance method. Please remember the second name of the diminishing balance method. Okay, so is a method of calculating the depreciation at a certain percentage each year on the balance of the asset which is brought from the previous year. The answer here for this question will be option number C. Under diminishing balance method depreciation decreases every year. Okay, जो depreciation होता है वो decrease होता है every year में. Since the book value reduces every year and hence the amount of a depreciation also reduces every year. Under this method, the value of an asset never reduces to zero. The next question here is the basic consideration in distinction between capital and a revenue expenditure is, and the options given are the nature of business. Second option is effect on revenue generating capacity of the business. Third option is purpose of expenses, and the last option is all of the above. The basic consideration in the distance between the capital and the revenue expenditure are a nature of business, effect on the revenue generating capacity of the business, and the purpose of the expenses. Capital expenditure are typically one-time large purchase of the fixed asset that will be used to revenue generation over a longer period. Revenue expenditure are ongoing operating expenses which are a short-term expenses used to run the daily business operation. Here the answer for this question will be option number D, that is all of the above. The nature of business, effect on the revenue generating capacity of the business, and purpose of the expenses. The next question here is, if an effect of an error is cancelled by the effect of some other error, it is commonly known as, and the options given are error of principle, second option is compensatory error, third option is error of omission, and last option is error of commission. An error of a principle is an accounting mistake in which the entry violates a fundamental principle of the accounting or a fundamental accounting principle established by the company. Error of omission is a mistake that consists of not doing something you should have done or not including something such an amount or a fact that should be included. Error of omission are likely to be more common than the error of commission. Then is error of commission. If we see the error of commission, it is an error that occurs when the bookkeeper or an accountant record a debit or a credit to the correct account but to the wrong subsidiary account or a ledger. Okay. The answer here for this question is option number B, that is compensatory error. If an effect of an error is cancelled by the effect of some other error, it is commonly known as compensatory error. A compensating error in an accounting error that offset another accounting error. This error can be difficult to spot when they occur with the same account and in the same reporting period, since the net effect is the zero. Another question here is principle required that some accounting method should be used for a one accounting period to the next. And the options given are, first option is conservatism. Accounting conservatism is a principle that required company account to be prepared with the cushion and high degree verification. Second option is consistency. The consistency principle states that once you adopt an accounting principle or a method, continue to follow it continuously in the future accounting period. Third option is business entity. Here the business is treated as a separate entity. Okay. And the last option is money measurement. Money measurement concept states that business should only record an account transaction or an accounting transaction if it can be expressed in terms of the money. The answer for this question will be option number B, that is consistency principle required that some accounting method should be used from one accounting period to the next. The next question here is the bill of exchange when drawn required, and the options given are noting, discounting, acceptance, and none of the above. A bill of exchange when drawn required acceptance. By acceptance, the drawee engaged himself to pay the amount from the bill of exchange to the person who will bear or hold it on the due term. The answer here for this question will be option number C, that is acceptance. A bill of exchange when draws required acceptance.